see the stream, you're going to want to click edit. And now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and give our stream a title. We want to go ahead and put a description. This is a great way to be able to put in links and things that you want people to find out about you. And then this is a super important option right here, visibility. You want to make sure it doesn't say unlisted. What that means is that only people who you've given a special link to are going to be able to view that. So you're going to want to go ahead and check that, and you want to make sure this is selected to public. Once you change that to public, that's going to make sure that your live stream is now going to be able to be found. Then you want to go ahead and upload a thumbnail, and then you want to go ahead and add a playlist. So now that you have that in place, that's going to now make your stream visible for the people on the outside to be able to view your stream. And then here inside of your Streamlabs, now you can go ahead and start customizing your scenes, adding your starting soon, your countdown, all your overlays, and everything that you're going to go ahead and need. Now, if you don't have any kind of overlays, you can go to streamdesigns.com. I'll put a link in the description of this video. And then once you have your overlays, you want to go ahead and watch this video. And then here inside of your Streamlabs, now you can go ahead and start customizing your scenes. And now what we want to YouTube, and you're going to see here that we're now live, but your audience and your viewers are not going to see your stream. So to be able to get them to see the stream, you're going to want to click edit. And now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and give our stream a title. We want to make sure this is selected to public. Now going to be able to be found. Then you want to go ahead and upload a thumbnail, and then you want to go ahead and add a playlist. So now that you have that in place, that's going to now make your stream visible for the people on the outside to be able to view your stream. And then here inside of your Streamlabs, now you can go ahead and start customizing your scenes, adding your starting soon, your countdown, all your overlays, and everything that you're going to go ahead and need. Now, if you don't have any kind of
Testing 1 2 3. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? Ooh, the latency in this video. My goodness. My goodness gracious. Hopefully I sound okay. I don't know. I have no idea how I sound okay. You know why? Because this is the first time I've ever done this shit. What a crazy time to be alive. Science, technology is a beautiful, beautiful thing, friends. Oh my goodness. My thing is actually prompting me. Do you want tips from your people? I mean, that'd be cool. But you know what? For the first time, for the first stream I ever do, why don't we save tips for some other time? Because, you know, if something goes wrong, something starts lagging, silliness ensues, maybe my computer explodes, maybe my head explodes like that dude from Scanners. I don't know. I don't want to have you all be like, "Damn, I tipped this fool and his head exploded." That's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. I don't want none of that. Welcome everybody to Come Ask a Clown Anything, or CACA. I know I still have to rework the I got to rework that title. But it's just so good, right? It's so delicious. Not caca, but like the title. Shut up. Everybody out there, shut up. Shut up. No, don't shut up. Actually, no, don't shut up. Because I would love to talk, as is basically in the nature of the show. Come ask a total clown. Somebody who has failed in almost every conceivable way possible. We're going to talk about all kinds of things. Thoughts about life. Thoughts about mathematics. I don't know much about math, but it's pretty fun. But no, seriously, we're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about nerd stuff. We're going to talk about geek stuff. We're going to talk about philosophy. We're going to talk about history. We can talk about anything. We can talk about anything. I'm a pretty big open book with a big chastity belt on it, you know?
Welcome to the stream.
Oh my
where
goodness.
our
No. I mean, you know, what else can we possibly get from something along those lines? All right. Okie dokie. Okie day. Here's what we're gonna do. So I got Stephanie, Jerry Camacho, and I got Victor Tostado. Oh, gotta love family. Gotta love family. Hi family, hi friends. Why is everybody going ah? So one of the quick questions I actually got on my one of the first questions I ever got, just kind of leading into this thing about and people were asking me, what's your thoughts on the state of the MCU? And I gotta say, friends, I would love to move to the state of the MCU. It's right next to Wisconsin and Texas.
The latency in this video, my goodness gracious.
Don't want nothing kind of coming in to that things. All right. But so that's my comedic answer. But the real answer I have for the state of the
Hopefully
MCU
I sound okay.
is,
I don't know. I have no
I'm
idea.
not gonna
how
lie,
sound
friends.
Okay.
I kind of got.
This is the first time I've ever done this shit.
I got a little bit of superhero fatigue.
What a crazy time to be alive.
I got a little bit of superhero fatigue from everything going on. All the noise and all the chaos coming in, and people praising the fact that the Marvels wasn't doing so good. And I gotta say, as much as I kind of got that fatigue going,
I mean, that'd be cool. But
I don't wish Marvel to fail. In fact, I actually, as a lover of stories and as a lover of escapism and as a lover of geek and nerd culture, I really want, like, I want them to do well. I want to feel as I felt going into Infinity War and then really anticipating what happens in Endgame. You know, so I think there was a tweet. You know who tweeted about it? Was Mr. Stevanovich King. I think he's better known as Stephen King, the writer. You know him as the dude from Creepshow.
Come ask a clown anything. Or CACA. I know, I still have to.
He posted a tweet, and this isn't exactly what he said, but in essence, this is what he said. He said he's never really been a fan of Marvel films, but the fact that a bunch of people, mostly men, are shitting on the fact that
Shut up. Everybody shut up.
the fact that the Marvels is failing is probably more addressing something about them as opposed to actually, you know, having some kind of valid criticism for, you know, the movie. Like, why are you celebrating failure? And I thought that was really, really cool of him. Potentially one of the most famous writers in modern history, Stephen King,
I don't know much about math.
being kind of straight up with, you know, yeah, Marvel movies, potentially comic book movies are not his thing, but he don't wish anything to fail, right? You don't want that for people. You want to kind of come together. I bet if he wrote a Marvel movie, it would be scary as shit, and it would probably be fun, or it'd be terrible because he's just, I don't know, bored. I don't know. It's fun. So that's my current thing on the state of Marvel. Is this fatigue? But I hope it does.
No.
Oh, what was that? But like, it was fun.
But so that's my comedic answer. But the real answer I have for I want them to do well. I want to feel.
All right, so we got. Sorry, I was just checking these things here, my friends. All right, so we got some questions. Who's that talking? Oh, I hope it's me. Might be some other people. Is there any meaning to my makeup? Yes, actually. So this part, what part am I on? Because I'm looking at the screen and it's flipped. My right side, this kind of thing going on, this jagged kind of line coming into on my eye. That's supposed to kind of be in reference to in the reference of the Heyoka, you kind of get bestowed upon the role of the Heyoka from the spirits of the thunder beings, the Wakinyan, is what I believe. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. If I have any indigenous brothers, sisters, and thems out there watching, please let me know the proper pronunciation. But the Wakinyan give you, it's basically it's almost a spiritual type ass journey. So the lightning was there. This one was this. It's kind of whatever I want it to be on any given time with the same kind of pattern. Kind of got inspired by the crow because I really love the crow. And by the way, if y'all want something to look up and get really sad or really depressed, go ahead and look up the crow and the making of the crow. And I'm not even talking about what happened to poor Brandon Lee, which is very, very tragic. I'm talking about the dude who wrote the actual comic book series, The Crow. It's very sad and everything, but it's basically a huge examination on grief. And oh boy, don't we love that. Don't we love feeling depressed day in and day out, and then we read a story that just makes us feel so much worse. Yeah. And then I have the
Who's that talking?
my red here, you know, that's kind of the common clown piece, and like one part of my lip is a little bit elevated, the other one's you know, a little bit of happy, a little bit of sad, but it's not like happy Pennywise about to eat Georgie's. You want me to eat your face, Georgie? It's not that. It's just like a pensive smile, but also something a little sad, you know, a little something in between. And I tied a tie, and you know, a little bit of clown action going on. So you know, there's that. My primo in blood, my brother in blood. Mr. Victor says, Peter Parker or Miles Morales? What a fantastic question. Here's why. I know a lot about Peter Parker. I got some beef about Peter Parker. Not beef. No beef. But like I dove deep into Peter Parker. I am just now really getting into Miles Morales. Myself and my lovely partner took a deep dive into Miles Morales because she is a big Spider-Gwen fan. So we were kind of doing our due diligence. We were doing our due diligence for educating ourselves in that beautiful sort of piece of lore, and I love. I love what Peter Parker is, and I love what Miles Morales. The fact that he is basically a hybrid. So I love that it's, you know.
And oh boy, don't we love that? Don't we love feeling depressed day in and day
Oh.
out, and then we read a story that just makes.
Sorry, friends. I'm new as Coach Faraz would say. I'm a complete white belt in button pushing, so I'm learning how to button push and try to not have echo or anything like that. So I'm trying to think. Where was I? Oh yes. So my actual answer is I can't choose one or the other, Peter Parker or Miles Morales, because at least the best of my current now knowledge, they basically stand for the same thing of just trying to help and make things better. They just come from very different sort of backgrounds, and they come from very different circumstances. Would I probably in a way relate more to Miles Morales? Yeah, I think anybody who's biracial or triracial, quadraracial, cinco racial, if you just got so many different types of heritages and bloods running through your body, yeah, you might actually connect a little more with Miles Morales, as he's basically split between I believe his mother is Puerto Riqueña and his father black from, I think a black man from Queens, if I'm not mistaken. Is it Queens or Brooklyn? I think Queens. I want to say Queens. Yeah, Queens. So I would say Peter Parker or Miles Morales. I would say both. That's my answer because they stand for the same thing. All right. Next question from a lovely Stephanie T. Stephanie Ice T. Why is John Wick so good? Like the guy, John Wick, the movies, John Wick. Oh, it's because you don't fuck with dogs. You don't fuck with dogs. And if you do, there's nobody on the planet. There's nobody on the planet who wouldn't basically do exactly what John Wick did in the movies if somebody up and killed your puppy. It's you know, it's a beautiful, like, anybody would, I'm pretty sure the most pacifist, just the most sincere, God-fearing pacifist, the one who just couldn't hurt a fly, and who wouldn't is basically lives off the land, prays for all the animals and the plants and the vegetation, everything. This person would look and be like, oh, look, there's my animals. Excuse me, sir, what are you doing with that gun? Fuck this fool. And then he pulls out an AK-9000 and just mows down everybody. That it would just be done. You know why? Because Daisy, from what I understand from the Cinema Wins guy, the little doggy from John Wick who played Daisy, the one, she's still alive. She's obviously older now, but she's still alive, and she's so happy. So I'm happy to hear about that. Yeah, you automatically would know that John Wick is just so. It's just such a simple, beautiful concept, And to actually dig deeper into why John Wick is so good. The reason John Wick is so good is because, realistically speaking, clearly everybody in that production cares. You know what I mean? Like when you just have a group of people, and I don't know exactly how much the John Wick franchise got the first movie, but from what I understand, it wasn't that much. It wasn't that much compared to, say, like a Marvel-esque blockbuster. But they really, really cared to make fascinating, a really kind of cool, engaging story. Keanu, man, my man Keanu. I have so much to say about Keanu that that could basically take up the stream for now. But my man Keanu really found a beautiful ascension for his artistic sort of prowess in action. Action is just so his niche. I really do buy him in any type of action movie and everything. And I did learn really that he is a far better dramatic actor than I think people really realize, because now he's really an action guy. Everybody on the set of the John Wick quadrilogy really cares, and I'm kind of excited to see the Continental. But when you look at how it integrated style, if you look at how it integrated lighting, if you look at how it integrated the choreography, if you look how it integrated tone, what it allows its world building in the realm of the assassins, it's just so smooth, and it's just so slick, and it's almost like I would even kind of profess to say that we are in a different dimension. We're probably not even on Earth 612 or 619, whatever our Earth is, whatever Rick and Morty's Earth, Marvel Earth, DC Earth. This isn't our Earth. In the John Wick universe, it's probably a completely different world with the John Wick in the John Wick universe. It's got to be something totally different. Because my man fell off like a 10-story building, and he got banged up, but he didn't die. I know he's wearing a bulletproof thing, but I think if you fall off a building wearing bulletproof things, you're still going to get, like, dead. You're still going to get dead. So, yeah, I would say that's why the John Wick films really, really hold up to everything. And that's gonna be an awesome bar to try and either ascend from or step aside from to action wise Eastern cinema, like Asian cinema, they've been pinnacles of action for a long time. But yeah, as far as for American action, I know the Mission Impossible movies are kind of really another staple for action movies and stuff like that. I love those. But yeah, that's going to be a very, like, that type of slick style is going to be so interesting, and I don't want to say difficult to top, because you just got to put in some differentiation, but like obviously it's going to influence action cinema culture for a good while. So yeah. Also, by the way, my friends, I had a message that the sound was kind of echoing and everything. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if the sound is good and you just basically hear my voice and you don't hear the body I have in my basement kicking around. Just, he doesn't know when to shut up. He heard a dog, so yeah. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up whenever you get that. I'll double check. There's a little bit of lag on my personal thing, so I might not see the thumbs up for a while. Oh, hey, and then mama. Hi, mama. Hey, this cousin. All right. So here we go. All right, there we go. John Wick so good. Fact checking. So Anna Gonzalez asks, what do you feel I feel my face paint. This is my actual face, the face I go out every day with just a plain peach white face. That feels weird. No, I'm kidding. What do you feel? He's from Brooklyn. Oh yeah, okay. Miles Morales, he is from Brooklyn. Okay. Thor as male or female? Oh, okay. So Mrs. Gonzalez, Miss Anna, Mama. Thor. She's asking Thor as male or female. Are we talking about Jane, his lady? If we're talking about comic book, I have very, very sort of passing knowledge on Thor and Jane, but I do know that I think Thor Love and Thunder covered it pretty well with sort of the tragedy that befell Jane as a Thor, as wielding the power of Thor. And I know that that's sort of, from what I remember, it's sort of glossed over. Not glossed over, but it doesn't go into it too much. I think is basically goes into the lore of the Norse mythology that Odin basically casts a spell to grant someone the power of Thor, and then since I think Mjolnir is kind of the filter. Is that the right word? Is that what you would say? Hey, fact checker. I don't have a fact checker. It's the cat. The cat, and she don't give a darn about anything. She doesn't give a good old hootsy hoots about anything. She just cares about her food and grooming her matted little face. Look at that. Not a care in the world. You see that? Y'all see that? Envy. She don't have to worry about work. She don't have to worry about groceries or bills or nothing. She don't do nothing. But Thor or Lady Thor, I believe that's a tough one to answer to. Because obviously everybody kind of loves in the modern times. Because Thor, I promise you, from what I understand, in my current now knowledge, the Thor that you would hear in actual Norse mythology isn't so good. He's not such a good person. He's kind of terrible, actually. But Thor, as we know him now, kind of in the Marvel universe, he's the OG. But I really kind of respect what they did for Lady Thor. And kind of it's sad. She gets the C, the big C word, she gets the C word, the big sick from like Kumail Nanjiani, the big sick. It's a good movie, by the way. Go check out the Big Sick with Kumail Nanjiani. That's a great film. But yeah, I would say the original Thor is kind of, obviously you got to have respect for the OG Thor. Never gonna get you can't get taken out. You got to get good stories in there, though. You really got to understand good stories, and if all of a sudden Lady Thor starts making kick-ass stories in the comic book world and they start to fall on Big Daddy Thor, then dang, it's all kind of out there. But yeah, love the original, but really, really respect kind of where they took that in the narrative sense for Jane, who got cancer and gets the power of Thor, but it gets the balance of it makes her sicker and everything like that. Oh man. And it was a good question from my mom's Anna. John Wick is the ultimate animal rights activist. Yeah, not so much a humanitarian in a way, but definitely an animal rights activist. They should hire John Wick to be security at a sanctuary somewhere in in Uganda, or where they have like the gorilla sanctuaries. Yeah, I think he'd be just an okay employee at just protecting everybody from, poachers and kind of crazy rich people who just hunt and, I don't know, for trophies. Like, my man, I understand the nature of hunting, but like, you're not the predator. those are the people that like thing. But come on, man, they're endangered. You're hunting endangered species size. I don't know. Maybe somebody out there can tell me the benefit of kind of hunting the endangered ones. Let me know if there's some kind of benefit to that doesn't have to do with monetary reasons, pride, or ego, and I will listen. If there is a legit reason, I will listen. Sweet. Needs to be on a t-shirt. Yes, absolutely. John Wick, animal rights activists. And it's just a little picture of Daisy right there. Little Daisy puppy with John Wick, animal rights activist, and a gun. Daisy has a gun. That should be in the Continental. They teach the dogs how to use guns. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Burf, 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 burf. You can't tell if it's the dog doing the gunshots or the you can't tell if the dog's doing the gunshots or the actual gun. Burf, burf, burf. Burf, burf, burf. Burf, burf, burf. All right. What a lucky life to be a cat, right? She's just my God. Call me old-fashioned, love the male Thor. Oh yeah, I mean he's the OG. I'm not sure. Somebody, please, by all means, I would be interesting to look this up. I don't know if Thor sort of transforms the way Loki does, especially Norse Loki, who has turned himself into a woman, has turned himself into various animals, has turned himself into aquatic life. I want to say Thor, or Loki is a pretty. He's a shapeshifter. So I'm wondering if there's any ancient Norse stories where Thor either shapeshifts or gender bends or anything like that. That would be really interesting. But of course, yeah, Thor is he's the OG. Go ahead. It's because of Chris that you like the male Thor. I mean, so I guess we can go Chris Hemsworth. There are a few people on this planet in all genders, male, female, them, just people. There are people on this planet that their sexy level is fucking unfair. It's fucking unfair. The dude from RRR, go ahead and look that up. Maybe this could be a shout out to my sister Steph, my big sister Steph. Movie called RRR. And both the two leads in there. Okay, there's two leads in there, and one of them is a very homely looking man. We talked about this before. He's a very, very homely looking man, very handsome, very kind of like the man that you really expect to kind of come home to. And he's very pleasant, kind of got like a very round, sweet face. The other dude is unfairly handsome. In a way that you're just like, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. Ain't no man supposed to be that handsome. I ain't that handsome. And I try. I eat my broccoli. I know what I'm talking about. Here, I'm going to look up. Yes. Okay. So the other one I was saying that was more homely looking. That's N.T. Ramarao Jr. And the dude, again, handsome dude. I hate the fact that they can just grow beautiful beards that way. Just beautiful, beautiful beards. The other gentleman who's just unfairly handsome, his name is Ram Charan. RAMCHARAN. You know who falls into that category of unfair? It's freaking Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth is just an unfairly handsome dude. I think he really could just let himself go. He can probably get all pimply and stuff, and he'd still be like a 7. He's just one of those dudes. Do I know how many animatronics are in Five Nights at Freddy's? I'm going to say 5. 5. Is that a quiz question? I feel like that's a quiz question. I want to know. I've never played that game. I heard mixed things about the movie. But also, aren't there everybody? So people out there who don't know, Five Nights at Freddy's started out. Five Nights at Freddy's started out as a video game, a very, very independent video game, horror game where you're essentially a worker overnight at a spooky Chuck E. Cheese like place, and the animatronics, the characters come alive, and they basically, without going into crazy amounts of detail, they're trying to get to where you are so they can come and kill you, and that blew up. The gaming stuff blew the F up. So just imagine Chuck E. Cheese doing their little things, and they're like, Chuck E. Cheese, haha, everybody go, oh, a new worker, let's go ahead and shove his body into an animatronics, effectively chopping him into little pieces. Yeah, oh my god. I never played. I've only ever I played Five Nights at Freddy's once, and I got frustrated. I got a little frustrated with it because I had never played a game like that before. I'm not very good at kind of the tasking games, kind of puzzle games. I don't even know if it's based on luck or anything, but yeah. But aren't there, like, best of my current knowledge, there's gotta be like something in the neighborhood of, I want to say 10 Five Nights at Freddy's spin-offs, or Five Nights at Freddy's Five Nights at Freddy's Fart 1. Anyway, yeah, there's probably, so I think you're trying to trick me. Cousin. You're trying to trick me, cousin, about how many animatronics are there in Five Nights at Freddy's. Because we got Freddy, then we got the duck, the mouse, the bear, or another bear, not just Freddy, right? And the dog, if I'm remembering correctly. And right now I'm trying to channel the poster in my head. Yeah. So, but there might be more. Maybe in the OG Five Nights at Freddy's, it might be 5 or 6, maybe. Somebody fact check. But yeah, but there might be more. And there's a duck in there, right? There's a duck. I think there's a duck. A duck. Duck, sir. You all right, sir? Of course I'm all right. Why? What have you heard? Lloyd Bridges. Can we all take a moment of loveliness to appreciate how hilarious Lloyd Bridges is? He's the man. He's not. I know Airplane is very much known for I Am Serious and Don't Call Me Shirley. But Lloyd Bridges is the one talking about, I picked a hell of a day to quit sniffing glue. Picked a hell of a day to quit drinking. It's coming right at us! And he jumps out the window. Brilliant. The man was brilliant. If you don't know who Lloyd Bridges is, watch a movie called Hot Shots. He's one of the best parts of that film, with one of the greatest comedic character intros you will ever see in a movie. I stand by that. I will die on that hill. I would be basically Iwo Jima by myself with a flag that says Hot Shots, Lloyd Bridges, hilarious. All right. How do I feel about the end of MCU Loki? I'm devastated, but I understand. Oh, no, don't. We are one episode away. I haven't seen it yet. But getting there, I gotta say, like I said, had Marvel fatigue, haven't really kept up with a lot of the shows. I think the last one we saw to completion was Moon Knight. We saw the first 2 episodes of She-Hulk. I didn't see Miss Marvel. There's a werewolf one. There's something about werewolves. I know it might have been on Disney Plus, but also it's on Hulu. I want to say it's on Hulu. Yeah. But yeah, so I was glad Loki seems to be taking, like, they got back to some pretty good storytelling, especially with some of the time stuff. I'm sure there's people who are out there who are going to rip it apart, but from my first glance, from the kind of the first kind of pass, if I was on a plane, like basically kind of how you watch all media, right? Like a movie, there's that first pass sometimes. Most of the time, if it's something good, you might need to do a double, you might need to circle around in the plane again and watch it again and be like, some stuff I didn't catch before, right? Usually if something's not as quality as some other things, a single pass is kind of enough to be like, okay, you made a thing. Yay, on to something else. I have to go bake bread or something. I don't know. But yeah, so I don't know about how the end of the MCU Loki. Wait, is that like a? Did I read the context of that question wrong? How do I feel about the end of MCU Loki? As in, did Loki as we know him, as in Tom Hiddleston Loki? Oh no, I can't spoil things like that for people on my streams. My streams. How urinal does that sound? My stream. Zzz. I wonder if there's a toilet joke in there somewhere, but I'm keeping it relatively PG for the people in the audience, because I know my audience a little bit. You know what I mean, ladies? Okay. Do I think Thanos was right? Oh my goodness. Do I think Thanos was right? Boy, oh boy. Let me ask a qualifier. I'll move on to another question. Miss Ice T, Miss Stephanie Ice T. But qualify for me. Are we talking MCU Thanos, or are we talking about Infinity Gauntlet graphic novel, or I guess graphic novel comics here? Are we talking about comic book Thanos or MCU Thanos? Because the motivations for MCU Thanos are extremely different than the motivations of comic book Thanos. So let me know which one you're speaking on. I'll go on, and then we'll come back when I see your the question come by, the qualifier, the clarifier. Excuse me. Lovely mum asks, Broadway or movies? Broadway or movies? Broadway or movies? Both require a lot of money. You gotta make it, kid. You gotta make it in this world. You have to make it in this world, or else people are gonna think you're a nobody. Right? Wrong. Or right. Broadway or movies? Tough one. Broadway or movies? You know why it's a tough one? Because theater is a wholesomely different experience than cinema. There's something very, very, very alive and immediate in Broadway. There's something very present in Broadway, especially what you're going to go see. If you're watching, Broadway, a lot of people, most of the time, people, if you're not kind of in the know of how theater works, people think Broadway and they think Les Miserables, they think Cats, they think The Lion King, they think big spectacle. And unfortunately, that's not unfortunately. Why I said unfortunately was because I meant because they didn't know any better. That's where kind of the misfortune comes. But no. But what I actually meant was the misconception happens because that's where people think Broadway, big lights and everything. It's Sinatra and everything like that. Not Sinatra. The big kind of the big theater-esque plays. The old musicals, right? The old musicals that come around. But Broadway now, especially in the past, I'd say half century, very much, and probably longer, if I'm best of my current knowledge, probably longer. Broadway encompasses off Broadway, off Broadway, off Broadway, which is theaters that range from, you know, big grand stadium, almost stadium like theaters, to little black boxes that seat, I don't know, 50 people, sometimes 25, sometimes even less than that. So there's a very different experience when you're seeing live theater, experimental theater. You know, you see people walking around as cows, and all of a sudden there's a big red chair in the middle. You don't know why, and they never explain it, but everybody's walking around being cows, and you know you left the theater somehow. If it's good, somehow you realize that cows and red chairs start messing with your mind, and you feel like you got to call your long lost sibling or something. It's just theater has a way of doing that, and it's just a very I would say it's just a very different means of nutrition for your soul. You know, it's nutrition. It's a good way to say it. In Broadway or movies, it's nutrition. And it's good to have a little bit of everything. It's almost kind of like, well, you know, are you saying you think green beans or broccoli? Pretty similar in kind of a lot of forms, but broccoli has different minerals than green beans. There are some benefits to green beans that broccoli doesn't have. There's some benefits that broccoli have that green beans don't have. So you mix it up a little bit. You have a little maybe broccoli green bean stir fry. Yeah, it's nutrition. So, my personal preference, though, you know, I absolutely really love theater, but there's something about being in a movie theater and what you can do with moving pictures that just, you know, anybody, you know, most people here know, like, this is mostly family. Most people here know, hey, like we grew up mainly in movies. We saw some theater growing up, but it was mostly movies. Those are kind of the really big memories that we had growing up. So, yeah. There's the qualifier. MCU. Oh, okay. So, planet was dying. The question of was Thanos right? MCU or comic book? She meant MCU. Do I think the MCU Thanos was correct? Y'all remember 60 Minutes? You remember that show 60 Minutes? It was like, we'll be right back to 60 Minutes. And he's like, hi, I'm here with presidential candidate Phyllis Barksman. Okay, Phyllis Barksman, 60 Minutes, go. What's your position on freeways being vertical? I don't know. I don't necessarily think he was correct. If I'm being, even if I'm being a little charitable, I don't necessarily think Thanos was correct, but I get it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, players? You know what I mean, my lovely group of people? If you had a gauntlet that, and by the way, anybody who knows that they completely undersold the power of the Infinity Gauntlet. If you have these things that essentially control time, space, power, reality, soul, and a few others, mind, and I feel like I'm missing some, but it took God level beings to stop Thanos in the comic books. So I kind of I understand that, for the movie you kind of got to slim it down, because then how do you beat him? You don't, right? I don't know, he's a really big smart guy. He's a really big smart purple guy, and you know, he's a really big smart purple guy, and he has basically infinite power at the fist of his arm, and that's how he decided to go about correcting all those things. So, you know, I understand completely because his world was trashed. Also, he's obviously a little bit narcissistic and psychopathic and stuff like that. So maybe he just didn't know any better, and he needed a really good teacher to be like, Thanos, if you had infinite power, what are you doing? He's like, I'm going to try to get the resources. And they're like, thank you. Okay, go write that on the board, Thanos. But yeah, the amount of power that he basically bestow, but I get it. And also, you know, what's that little bit of nuance? What's that line where I think it's Captain America talking to Black Widow about basically, obviously, how things have changed after the snap, and it's 5 years later. And, you know, whales are thriving in the ocean, and, you know, I bet, you know, obviously there's not a lot of traffic with half the people gone. So if it was planet Earth as kind of we know it, 8 billion turns into 4. Wow, what a lot of space now. I used to own minus houses. Now I own 20 of them. Hey, look at me. So there really is that kind of, I wonder if. But yeah, I'm sure with a little bit of creativity, like they did on the What If episode, where T'Challa had a nice sit down with Thanos, and they worked out something that was beneficial for the universe, and Thanos got to do what he needed to do in a more beneficial way, as opposed to just a tyrannical megalomaniac way. So hey, yeah, there you go. That's what he needed. He needed T'Challa. He needed the Black Panther, or Star-Chala. T'Char-Lord? I like T'Char-Lord. That's happening. Could Michael Myers survive a predator hunt? Hey, if I had some stars to pass out in some questions, that's pretty awesome. That's an awesome question. Could Michael Myers survive a predator hunt? Another qualifier for you, cuz. All right, cousin? Yes, chef. All right, cousin? Yes, chef. Are we talking old school Michael Myers, like from the original old school Michael Myers from kind of that original, what is it? Pre Halloween H2O. So those first 7 movies, 6, 7 movies? I think it's 7 movies. Before Jamie Lee Curtis came back. And not the one with Busta Rhymes. I love Busta Rhymes, and that movie is sort of a guilty pleasure. Trick or treat, motherfucker. But yeah, so we talking about the original Michael Myers? Go ahead and qualify for me, cuz, and I'll let you know if you mean original Michael Myers, because he's the cursed one, versus whatever he is kind of in that middle part, or the Michael Myers in these newer ones with Jamie Lee Curtis being older. Oh, yeah, that was quick. OG Mike. Oh, okay. So, could he survive a predator hunt? And I'm going to assume it's one-on-one. It's one predator versus a Michael Myers. It's not like a group of predators. I don't think he would survive that. Wow, you know, honestly, legit, thinking about it, I think he would. Because if we're talking about OG Michael Myers, he's cursed with the thorn, the curse of thorn, which gives him basically superhuman and supernatural abilities to sustain injury and everything. And I don't know if the Predator's ready for that. I think if it was like an elongated fight, and if Michael Myers got in close, I think the Predator would actually have some work cut out for him. I will say with the punctuality with a punctuation or a little star, little asterisk being of if the predator just like took a clean swipe at Michael's head, and then I don't know, decimated the body or did what the predator does, which is collect, if they if he collected the trophies like the bones and the skull and everything. I think if it was like a clean shot, just nicked his head off and then did his trophy thing and he has the skull of Michael Myers, I think then he would pull a victory. But if it was a battle of attrition, I think Michael would have a pretty standing chance in taking out a predator. All right. That's a good question. That was fun. Yes, MCU. Michael Myers would frustrate the hell out of a predator. Yeah, see? Like, it's crazy. You would think, like, yeah. I think it would. It'd be frustrating because I think the predator would be like, I don't know why predator sounds like a weird cat. And he's like, and he would be scanning Michael, and in the predator readings, in the little digits, the little digits that the predators have, he'd be like, well, that's a human. It's a human being. Why is he not dying? I've stabbed this fool. I've blasted him through the chest, and he's just kind of getting back up and walking. It would the poor predator would just be confused as hell all over the time. Okay, so we got a new quiz from Ice-T, and by Ice-T I mean Stephanie. Wouldn't that be hilarious if for whatever reason Ice-T was on this stream, just chilling, like his kids are chilling, they're just chilling. He's like, I'm not working on any movies right now. I'm not making any music. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just watching random streams on YouTube. Who's this crazy dude with clown makeup on YouTube? How do I feel about Mads Mikkelsen being in the running to play Doctor Doom? I did not know that. I had no awareness or knowledge of Mads Mikkelsen being Doctor Doom. But now that I hear it, I can die a happy, happy man. Thank you so much for attending this stream. And then what if my head exploded, like I said in the beginning, just like in scanners? Just No. Mads Mikkelsen. I have so much faith about Mads Mikkelsen. For those of you who don't know, Mads Mikkelsen became really famous kind of over here in the Americas, being a different version of Hannibal Lecter in the show Hannibal. So there's my knee-jerk reaction. I have a knee-jerk because I have a man crush on Mads Mikkelsen. I really do. I really do have a man crush on Mads Mikkelsen. Fantastic actor. Now my question would be, what kind of Doctor Doom would he be? Because I would be really fascinated to see how he would play that very kind of that uppity narcissist that Victor Von Doom is. I think that's his actual name. Victor Von Doom. I'll be really interesting to see if he kind of really goes for the bombastic nature of who I think Doctor Doom is. He could nail the intelligence and the insidiousness and everything like that. Absolutely, no problem. But yeah, I'd wondering if somebody out there, please let me know, because this is all basically best of my current knowledge, and I love learning to see where I can sharpen all the wisdom and knowledge. Let me know if that's kind of the actual if that's the actual characterization of Victor Von Doom, kind of a very narcissistic, self-centered, but highly intelligent, probably borderline psychopathic because he's so smart for his own good. He doesn't know how to connect with people. It's very strange, but he's kind of got a charisma about him. So yeah, Maz can play that, but I wonder if they're going to do the sort of bombastic, kind of larger than life Victor Von Doom. So I would love to see what kind of choices he would make as Victor Von Doom, as Doctor Doom. And I'm honestly surprised they went, Von Doom as Von Jealous. I'm surprised that they went with Kang the Conqueror If anybody out there sees this stream, please let me know. Like, I wonder why, because he's not. I don't know if Kang the Conqueror is as kind of canonically known in the mainstream as, say, Doctor Doom. If they kind of really had a crossover with Magneto, and even Michael Fassbender can still reprise his role as Magneto. I'm trying to think of another kind of real famous, real famous new villain that they haven't. Barring away from Galactus, who's like, I don't know anybody. I don't even think the Scarlet Witch is ready for the likes of someone like Galactus. I mean, so yeah, they did. They, poor Wanda turned into the Scarlet Witch for a movie, and I know she's probably gonna be back. But I wonder if they had thrown around, introducing a new Doctor Doom, or maybe a new Red Skull. Wow, some of the names are blanking in my brain sack for other kind of amazing MCU villains. We'll get to it. All right, Maz is freaking amazing. Yep, yeah, cause one-on-one, the Predator would have a day. Mi mom, mi madre, mi madre. That's my little mariachi song for you, mom. Mi madre, and then that's it. People cheer, and I have my charo outfit, and I take off my sombrero, and I bow, and I walk off stage. Millions of copies sold, because everybody's just like, wow. The and the mi madre is just that's what a mother just loves to hear. And mi madre, that's love. That's love right there. That's love. Scarlet Witch can handle anything except not having her kids. Oh no, I'm not proud of that joke. I am not proud of that joke. You already know. Anybody who saw our review on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, I got so much sympathy for MCU Wanda and the Scarlet Witch. Could they have delved a little deeper into how she became really kind of psychotic, and showing a little bit more of a progression of how the Darkhold went into her body, and she really kind of lost reason? Like, yeah, I know. You're absolutely right, big sister. Bad form, Peter, bad form. No, bad form. Captain Hook would not be amused. So, mi mom, madre. Okay. So favorite Christmas movie. Oh yeah, these holidays is coming up. So Dogma, best movie about religion and Christmas, I guess, in a way, ever. No, and a more serious answer is I'd have to go with Scrooged with Bill Murray and Mama from Carrie Allen. I think that's her name, Carrie Allen. Lovely Miss from Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Scrooged is probably my favorite Christmas movie. There's some good ones out there. I remember I used to really like. I don't know if Mom or Dad or Steph ever remember, but like I really used to like the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. I used to watch that one all the time a lot. I used to just put it on when I got home from school, and I liked that one for some reason. I don't know why. The Santa Claus is really good. Chat. Go ahead and throw in some other Christmas movies, and I'll let you know if A, I've seen them, and two, what if they're good. Like, because right now, yeah, I'm going through some of the other nerddoms that we're talking about, the funness of nerddoms. Let's see. Okay, so I'll come back, but yeah, chat. throw in some Christmas movies or other ones like in a holiday spirit. Anybody out there seen Thanksgiving yet? The new Thanksgiving movie, Cousin. I think that's probably like y'all's vibes for you and Miss Olivia, right? Like Thanksgiving. I've been curious about that because it's Eli Roth and he knows how to put some grossness into his films. Some gory shenanigans. I know I'm not. Yeah, like I said, I'm not proud of that. Yeah, that was a bad joke. I love Scarlet Witch. Bad form, Peter. Thoughts on the new Ghostbusters movie? Did the new trailer hit your nostalgia button? Yes. I really hope. I really hope that they don't rely on the nostalgia. You know, it makes sense. I would love, Ghostbusters in a way could be a forever thing. You know, if you continued passing it on from generation to generation, if you have clever enough writers who love the core of the busting of the ghosts, I really do think you can have something special that speaks to every single generation. And then you can, I don't know, in the future, you could like follow it like, hey, this is what Ghostbusters originally was. There was the cartoon and all the toys. I mean, we remember we had the toys, and then turn these into like, let the movie and the story stand first, and then you can make your merch and your stuff. You know, make all that extra money, like Mel Brooks said in Spaceballs, like merchandising, Spaceballs the toilet paper, Spaceballs the flamethrower. Like, you could do that, you know. But I really hope it's good. It looks the concept looks very interesting. It looks like they're gonna have the old gang back. Like I saw, you saw Winston and Peter. And what I was gonna say, and Dan Aykroyd. Like I got the characters' names, but not as a. And so yeah, I'm hoping it's good. I really hope they took what they could learn from the first one, and just really let this one just be even better. And but like. I will say that's been a thing nowadays. It's been like a crutch because that's kind of the world we're living in right now, is the age of a really, really huge age of nostalgia. And that's great. Like, who doesn't love reminiscing? But it kind of, unfortunately, doesn't leave a lot of room in the mainstream for brand new things to come and capture our imaginations. In that regard, I do agree with some of the criticisms of the popular mainstream media. Is there's not room for the brand new things, and that's sad because like we do, of course we love going down memory lane and having shout outs to the things that we used to love when we were younger. Absolutely, like that's fantastic, but you know. You want to try new things. You want to take a risk. You want to go deeper into different types of stories. So since they're already doing the Ghostbusters IP, might as well, make it a good story. I'm interested to see is like the Death Frost, I think they called it, the Death Frost, and see what that's about. So yeah, if it has, it doesn't look like it relied on like Ivo Shandor or Vigo the Carpathian or anything like that. It really was. It seemed like it was a brand new thing, and you brought back the Ecto 1 and the or 1A and the proton packs and everything. So I'm really hoping that this one can be good because there was some good things about the new remake that we all saw together in the theater. What we got? Cause young Michael Myers has Hannibal Lecter as a therapist. How would Lecter have affected young Mike? Oh my goodness, dang! So cousin is coming in with the uppercut hook of these questions. My goodness, what an like that's a question for the ages. Part of me thinks, like, I talked to young Michael, and unfortunately, he swallowed his own tongue. He's dead, but then he came back. I wonder, like, I'll answer your question with the question: would he have been okay, and then became like, I don't know, the CEO of a linens and things, or like he's just like a really chipper mailman who just loves delivering the mail every day, and people love him, and the mail is a better place because Michael Myers is in it? Or would Hannibal have made him so much worse? And then when you think about it, especially when I took a little bit of a deep dive into the history of Dr. Loomis, the psychiatrist who was was supposed to help Michael Myers, there was nothing that there's a comic book series that kind of chronicles that time in between Michael doing what he did in the first one, killing his sister, and then when he got out, there's a comic book series that kind of chronicled the time in between. And Michael, in the comic books, he was, if he got bullied or anything, he obviously took care of the bullies in his lovely Michael fashion, but he just wouldn't respond to anything. He never spoke. He never did anything other than kill if he was provoked. So I don't know, like, what can, Hannibal Lecter is a cinematic villain gangster. He's one of the greatest villains of all time. But what does he do when he's just talking to, his power? Hannibal Lecter's power comes from the fact that he's dealing with humans, right? Human beings. So he can kind of intellectually manipulate them, psychologically kind of infringe on their hopes and dreams. What's he gonna do towards somebody who is literally just, his soul is gone and he is just a vessel for evil deeds? I don't know if Hannibal, like, I think maybe in a way, who knows, maybe Michael Myers would blow his mind. Like, Michael Myers would challenge everything Dr. Lecter knows about reality, like, that would be interesting to really, if Hannibal Lecter was Michael Myers' therapist. There might be something to say with Hannibal Lecter giving therapy to, like, maybe Leatherface, because at least he's a human. I think it's implied, right? If I'm not mistaken. Again, best of my current knowledge. Best of my now current knowledge is it's implied that Leatherface is like inbred, so certain developmental dysfunctions and everything like that. But yeah, it'd be interesting, what he can do with that. What else? Maybe Candyman. If Candyman didn't, kill Hannibal Lecter, they just sat down and talked, and he talks about, like, hey, so you were in love as a black man, you were in love with a white woman, and you got killed for that. How does that make you feel? How does it make you feel, Candyman? And he's like, stop calling me that. I forgot his name in the movie. He's like, no, I'm going to keep calling you Candyman. Candyman. I'm looking at a mirror. But yeah, that'd be interesting. Oh, It's a Wonderful Life. Oh my goodness. Mama, I have not seen It's a Wonderful Life since I think we lived when we were all together in our old home. I think I haven't seen that movie since then. I've seen clips, and I remember we watched parts of it for a film analysis class in college, but I haven't seen that film in its totality in such a long time. And when I saw it, I really do think that I was too young to understand exactly what was going on. It is a lot of it. I remember it being like very sweet, and I think I remember you and Dad just really watching it and just really, really kind of. I remember you and Dad talking about Jimmy Stewart. You know, Jimmy Stewart, Jimmy Stewart. Yeah, I remember that, but I was too young to know. But I'll actually make it a point this Christmas to rewatch It's a Wonderful Life. I know it's a classic, and I know it's one of the greats that you know. It's a good little family film. I know at parts it gets really sad, but then a lovely ending. So yeah, it will be on me list to revisit. I love that. The original Home Alone. I mean, good one. Can't. Hey, you know what? I love Home Alone. Always have. And I would love to have a chat with Macaulay Culkin, especially now, because my man has been through some things, and he has come out on top. He is a loving father, makes his appearances, makes what he loves to do, and I respect that. I would love to talk to Macaulay Culkin. So if by some crazy chance, Mac, you're listening, I would love to talk to you one day, and we'll go visit our boys over at Red Letter Media, because I love those guys. Hopeful for it as well. Yeah. A movie that made you cry. Ray? Oh. I was like, so I read that in the comments. It's like a movie that made you cry. And my sister straight up wrote Ray. I'm like, with Jamie Foxx is Ray Charles? Oh, I mean, yeah, there's some parts that are pretty sad, I guess. Maybe if it made you cry. I mean, he's cool. Ray Charles, he's a legend. He's good. But Mama asked, a movie that made me cry. Oh, I've actually come to terms with the fact that a movie can throw me to tears. But I will say, one of the hardest, and I'm not talking, I'm gonna exclude all the traumatic Disney and animated crap, and not even just Disney, but like I'm gonna exclude animated crap from the thing, because those are just made to mess with this is why our generations, like Stephanie's, mine, and a little bit of like my partners, of those 3 generations we all know, just made to traumatize you. This is why we got problems, man. It's because of these movies. They messed with our heads, man. We're not good, man. Bambi's mom, the Artax, the poor little shoe. No, not bringing in those. Easy answers. That's the easy answers. But a movie not specifically made to tug on my heartstrings. One of the hardest I have ever cried during a movie is when I rented the movie Warrior. And I believe the movie Warrior came out in 2008, starring Nick Nolte, Tom Hardy, Joel Edgerton, lovely Jennifer Morrison. See, you see, I got the details on it because I love that. That movie has been in potentially my top 5 for a very long time. I could not keep it together for certain, kind of like the last 2/3 of that film, with certain things going on with Nick Nolte's character, and then everything going on with the brothers and all that business. For whatever reason, man, the ending of that movie messed me up. I don't know if it was because I think when I first saw it, I had rented it off of Netflix. Do you remember when Netflix used to actually put DVDs in your mail holes and send them to you? Like, yeah. I had Netflixed it, watched it, and yeah, I don't know why that movie messed me up. That's one of the movies I've cried the hardest on, and consistently do. Even now, if I watch that movie all the way through, I will always tear up in that film. So yeah, Warrior is one that probably the first one that comes to mind. Mi mom, mi madre is at the Warrior. And yes, yeah, I know what you mean, Steph. Ray, as in Ray, Stantz. Is that it? Wow, why am I forgetting like some of the names? Ray Stantz, Egon Spengler, Peter Venkman, Ray Stantz, Winston Zettermore. Right? Okay. A Christmas Story. Oh, you shoot your eye out, kid. You'll shoot your eye out. Christmas Story is good. You know what? I'm positive to say that sometimes I think that movie pisses people off because doesn't TBS or something doesn't TBS still play A Christmas Story all day every day on Christmas Day? Fact check me. We haven't had normal TV for a while, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's still the same thing, but yeah. I love that. But I actually really do like A Christmas Story. For all intents and purposes, that movie should not have worked, but it's just so, it really, really captures a lot of the anxieties and excitements of being a little kid during Christmas or when you get in trouble or confronting a bully. So yeah, A Christmas Story is a good one. Good recommendation. Everything. Curse Michael Myers would be an endless buffet for Lecter. And so my cuz goes in hard with the questions, but Big Sister comes out with some pretty good responses. And Mama comes out with lovely heartfelt questions, all while I have to sincerely apologize to poor lovely bubbies of what I said about Scarlet Witch. I still don't feel good about that. I'm bleeding actually internally through the butt. I am bleeding through the butt for how much I do not like that comment toward the lovely Scarlet Witch. But it just goes to say that I think we saw that, really uber powered Scarlet Witch is no joke, but man, I don't know if Galactus really, I don't know if she is a blip in that sense, But yeah, he would be a endless buffet for Dr. Lecter. He just waits for him to regenerate, and then it's like more meat. Yeah, he'd never have to kill another. That's Michael Myers' service to mankind is making sure Dr. Lecter doesn't kill anyone else in the world by being an endless buffet for Dr. Hannibal Lecter. Was a reference. Yeah. Ray was the reference to Ghostbusters. Yes, you are right. I couldn't remember his name. I know, but it's funny. It was like a movie that made you cry. Ray. I could just see my sister like, look at him. He went blind, and then he played the piano, and look, all the heroin, Ray Charles. Come on, Ray Charles. Now I want to see it. Oh, do you mean Warrior, Mom? We have seen it. It's the mixed martial arts one. We saw it a long time ago. I don't know if you remember. I'll gladly rewatch it with you because it's one of my favorite movies. But yeah, beautiful film. Yep, 24-hour Christmas Story. Okay, still going in. Yeah, they still do that. Yeah, I don't blame them. It's a classic. What else we got here? We might have some time for a few more questions. I wanted to keep maybe the first stream about an hour and a half or so. So yeah, we can do a few more questions because I like this. I like this a lot. Gives a little chance to talk to a lovely audience about the things that we love. In a way that we don't usually get to do. Now people get to hear it, and people get to maybe chime in. They get to pause the video and have their thoughts on some of the things that we're talking about. So yeah, it sparks lovely discourse. I love it. Who would win between Raiden and Thor? Who would win in a fight between Lord Raiden and Thor? Hate to break it to you, big sister. Many people have dug deep in the scaling, the power scaling of these two. I believe there is a YouTube channel that specializes in something called death battles, and these death battles are heavy data crunching analyses of the powers and skill sets of everybody they talk about. And spoilers, I believe the trophy goes to Thor. Basically on the merits that Thor has way more feats of strength and heavy feats of strength than Raiden does. Taking all the canon from the things Thor has done in the comics, I think, and maybe a little bit in the movies, and everything that Lord Raiden has done in the comics and the video games. And I think Thor, man, just beats him out because, like, I don't know, comic books, people are like, well, Thor has a power that when he punches a planet, every galaxy within a 7 million time, he punches a planet and every galaxy explodes that he could see. It's a power. It's called Mjolnir Power Punch Thor Lightning Fist. And the things that can be done or that have been done in comic book lore are insane. You know, don't even get me started on some of the crazy things that Superman has done. You know, even like Scarlet Witch or the DC's version of Scarlet Witch. Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting her name. She's a badass though. She's like a magician. She's a magician of wow, I forgot her name. Oof. 10,000 things inside my brain, and I can't even get it all straight, people. Oh my goodness gracious. Aaron Neville singing in my head right now. But yeah, I think that point goes to Thor. Not that Raiden wouldn't give a pretty awesome fight. Yeah, but I love Lord Raiden. But yeah, I think Thor takes that just based on power alone. Best Doctor Who companion. I feel like if I say anything other than what my partner might say, which is Rose Tyler, it's Rose Tyler. I will say I'm a little bit. I've only ever watched through Matt Smith. Never really saw all the 60s versions of the Doctor Who's and didn't keep up after Matt Smith. Life just got crazy, and then when Capaldi came along, and then the new doctor, our lady doctor, forgot her name. Someone tell me, our lady doctor. Oh my God! See again, the names tip of the brain into the tongue. That's all it needs to go. It needs to go tip of the brain into the tongue, tip of the brain into the tongue, tip of the brain into the tongue to just go and come out. Woof! Come on. I'm just going to say the lady doctor was Julia Roberts was the doctor. So I did like Rose Tyler. They have some of the most emotional things that I saw, especially with David Tennant. The Doctor, you know, you gotta give it up for Rory and lovely. I think my personal favorite probably has to be Catherine Tate. I just got a special place in my heart for Catherine Tate, and she definitely, Mama Tate challenged the Doctor in ways that he had probably not been challenged before. So yeah. And Donna, yes, exactly, Donna Noble. Cuz coming in, Losers Club or the Monster Squad? Whew. Can I just say I would have a hard time trusting if they remade the Monster Squad. That's one. I don't know why. There are so many other there are so many other things that I can let slide, and I'm just like, okay, I'm interested. I don't know why the Monster Squad. I kind of feel like there's something about the Monster Squad that gives off lovely kind of puppy energy that you don't want this little puppy to change. You know, there's something special about this little puppy, and the Monster Squad is its own kind of self-contained thing. And it's a good story with a great cast of characters with moments that'll break your heart, make you laugh. And it's a cool the design, because Rick Baker is a fucking genius. The designs of the monsters in there are amazing. You know, I love the Monster Squad. Compared to the Losers Club, like you know, personally, so yeah, personally, cousin yes chef, like I would probably go for Monster Squad. But you know, like the Losers, man, the Losers Club, they were facing an entity probably way bigger than Dracula, Wolfman, the creature from the Black Lagoon, and the Mummy, and Dracula's brides were in there too, right? And you know, I don't count. They called him Frank. Like I don't count Frankenstein's monster because he's not a monster in the Monster Squad. He's a good guy. I'm sorry. Like there's some lovely things in the story and the lore of Stephen King's It. I don't know. Chat, let me know. Has anybody else read It? I know Big Sister has read It. You read it a long time ago, from what I understand, sister. I don't know if you ever picked it back up. Has anybody else in chat ever read Stephen King's It? I know Stephen King goes way better. He goes way deeper into everything, obviously, in the movies. I really dug the we were all traumatized by Tim Curry. You know, the TV, the kind of miniseries It with Tim Curry and everybody. There's some great moments and great like themes going on with childhood trauma and fear and all these things going on with Pennywise, right? And in the new ones with the new cast, and there's some beautiful moments with the kids and It in the first one and in the remake, and then It Chapter 2. I actually enjoyed that movie, like legit. Obviously there's some cracks in the whole of the armor. There's some pretty significant cracks in some of the narratives, and a lot of people are saying it's long, and I'm like, oh, you know, okay, we were in the theater, it's fine. But like, there's some good things going on. But I gotta say, all those, as beautiful as that was, it's very, very, very difficult to deal with that, to have and deal and straight up walk up to that moment in Monster Squad where they meet the scary man, the scary German man, and he has them pie, and he's talking to them about the monsters, and the kids are leaving. He's like, "Wow, sir, you really know a lot about monsters." And he's like, "Now that you mention it, I think I do." And the camera, he's like closing the door as they walk away, closes the door, and the camera pans down to his arm, and he has the tattoo of the concentration camp on his arm. He just holds on that for a little bit as he closes the door. Next scene. That moment, like if you watch that moment, I don't even know if you see that coming, because you think, you know, this is kind of a scary dude, and he feeds them pie and all this other stuff. And it turns out he's a Holocaust survivor. Like, you know, you can consider it on the nose and everything like that, sure. But like, I don't know, man. Something about the sincerity of that moment is like a skyrocketing thing toward everything. So personally, yeah, Monster Squad, just, you know, really, really diving deep into that. But I do gotta say, there's something about, I've had dreams about Pennywise. Like, I don't know if it's the design, if it's the characterization, but Pennywise the clown? That's coming from a fellow clown, you know, like, oh man, you're kind of scary. At the clown conventions, we're all like, Pennywise, you need to relax. Pennywise, more like Penny not so wise. Penny chill. Penny chill out. Chill the F out, Penny. yeah, so I would say, yeah, Monster Squad. How about y'all? Like some of these people, like coming in hot with these questions. Go ahead and turn it back to yourselves. I would love to hear your answers. Loser Club or Monster Squad? Lady Thor, what would Hannibal do with Michael Myers? Michael versus Predator. I want to hear some of your answers too. All right, we would expect Donna. Oh, yeah, we got Donna Noble, right? Zatanna is the Scarlet Witch. Oh, Zatanna. That's right, Zatanna. Jodie Whittaker. There we go. I was right with the J. I knew I had like a J in there. Remake of He-Man, yay or nay? Hold on. Before I answer the He-Man one, that'll probably be amongst my last ones. Yeah, okay. These last two questions, and then I'll call it for the night, my friends. And then I'll respond. Cousin, yes, chef. My cuz Vic, I have. I think. Are you responding, cuz, to the fact that you read Stephen King's It? Sweet. Yeah, dude. Either next chat or something. Let me know how deep it kind of goes, because I know it's a hefty, just quantity wise, a hefty book, and there's so much stuff that goes on in there. Yeah, let me know. A remake of He-Man, yay or nay? Live action? Because I know on Netflix, Kevin Smith was actually part of a team that brought He-Man back in animated form. So, yeah, maybe you can check that out and see how that goes. But He-Man live action with in real time. I mean, you know that we growing up, we had a special place in our hearts for the He-Man movie. And it's not until you get older you're like, wow, this is a silly film. But I loved it. I'm pretty sure I still do. For the reasons of just like, yeah. But a remake of He-Man, yay or nay? I would say like definitely my stance on that still kind of goes for, you get the right team, you get the right kind of people who know what He-Man's about, and I would say for He-Man, you have to get people who really love and respect the OG and want to tell a very interesting story, and then let them just have fun with it. I guarantee it would be great. If they did that, if they stuck to those kind of metrics of really fleshing out a kick-ass story for He-Man and all of his crew to go about, and all of Eternia and everything, I'm all about it. And they let it be fun and maybe a little campy and stuff like that. Like the Dungeons and Dragons movie. The Dungeons and Dragons movie, like that team, I think would probably do a pretty good job of doing a He-Man remake. We recently watched the Dungeons and Dragons movie, and it's a lot of fun. Like overall, any type of considerations aside, like it's a fun movie. So this will be the last question of the stream before we go, my friends. I had so much fun. There's been so much fun. Wants to know, Jerry Stephanie Camacho wants to know, Jerry, why are people prejudiced against black animals, dogs, cats, etc., etc.? Oh my God. Well, I believe, my good brother, that some people aren't going to like this answer. Religion has a lot to do with that. Unfortunately, best of my current knowledge. Again, if anybody catches this stream and you know a little better of like the correlation with certain black animals, dark animals toward the pagan religions and the kind of spooky way that certain when people were trying to really enforce different types of religion upon different practices and cultures of people. I believe, best of my current knowledge, it has a lot to do with religion and symbols and like the alchemy and the history of like Hermeticism, I think, is one. If you look at people like in voodoo rituals, voodoo practices, I'm really kind of just taking it from that because I ran across something talking about like there's like a psychology of Halloween when I was messing around looking up like certain sort of psychological and maybe cultural aspects dealing with cultural aspects dealing with that type of stuff, like the witchcraft and lore and everything like that. So, best of my current knowledge, and I'm going to say that for pretty much damn near every one of my response, because who knows? Certainty can sometimes be cancer, my friends. Certainty can be cancer sometimes. But yeah, religion had a lot to do with it. Marketing, especially in the modern day, like, marketing is like, it's, you see a black cat, oh, it's evil. Crows, it's a sign of evil. Black dogs, it's because, and also there's probably something in there to go with the psychology of the color black, like actual black. We're not bringing race into this. This is not how we roll. I love races. Races are great. A human race, sometimes we act with our heads firmly up our asses. Racism and all kind of stupidity aside, but like there's a psychology to, I know there's a psychology to the color black. There is a psychology to the color black because it tends to signify the unknown, and people don't like being in the dark. People don't like because people that's why. Okay, perfect time to see. This is why we need John Wick. Anybody who's out there mad dogging dogs who they just are like, oh, I don't like that dog. John Wick just shoots him right in the, not even kill them, just shoot him right in the foot, right in the fucking foot. I'm sure there's all kinds of things because stigma gets around. People are probably like, oh, like there's probably an uncanny valley effect that potentially goes with a black, the black dog, and you can't quite see like the outlines. Like if you see a yellow Labrador or a very like bright colored dog or like a spotted dog, you can kind of, you understand it a little more. But like, I don't know, a black dog who just you can't see, there's probably like some uneasiness of like uncanny valley. I know certain dogs like cane corsos, when you see them, they're black and then they have bright white like silver eyes or yellow eyes, and that's it's kind of unsettling. Also, put up the fact of, I'm not sure how many people have done this, but to have let's turn our compassion levers up a little bit. You might have some people out there who you might have had some people out there who had a bad experience with a dog who's darker. You might have had people who get really scared of invaders. From what I understand, like every people out there, my family, we're dog lovers. We love dogs. And people really sometimes have a hard time with bigger dogs. There's a great community of people who love and understand big doggies, but there's a heavy amount of people who really don't, and get really uneasy by big dogs. So there's probably that aspect too. But yeah, my best of my current knowledge, best guess I can give is like a bad experience associated with the color black. And I'm pretty sure like, yeah, there's because a lot of religious practices really shot down practices of like paganism and stuff like that. This is a lot of craziness that goes on with like, think about it, and like it's in literature all over the place. If he's like this black void or this black serpent or something like that, or this black dragon, like it's supposed to be like this darkness, like it's the dark lord, black magic. Everything associated with the color usually tends to be negative. And funny enough, it wasn't until recent times when like black was like, oh no, good guys, good people wear black. The Matrix, Neo and Trinity were coming up in there wearing black. Blade wore black. Yeah. So it's I'm pretty sure it's a whole mess of things. also the short answer is maybe you didn't know, but the person who was mad dogging Vader, maybe Vader one day just went over there and just peed on their face, yeah, and they didn't know it, and then Vader walked away like, I just peed on your face, and they're like, what the heck? And he's like, yeah, that's right, peed on your face. I'll do it again. I'll pee on your face right now. Jerry likes the John Wick solution. Heck yeah. Oh, my friends. Anybody out there, thank you so much for joining me today. Your friendly neighborhood Heyoka Dimitri had so much fun streaming with you today. I'll be honest, I didn't think I was going to get anybody to watch the stream. Like anybody. I was expecting to talk to myself for an hour and a half. I'm glad y'all tuned in today. And if you love this, it's going to be on my channel, and I'm going to keep streaming more because this was a lot of fun. So hopefully as the audience grows, more questions come in and people have fun, and we can solve all the world's problems together. That's right. In this little chat, we solved all the world's problems. All right, friends. Your friendly neighborhood Heyoka signing off. Remember, peace is the default. Damn near everything is nuanced. And please just be freaking excellent to each other. All right, y'all. I'll see you later.